Today I want to talk about the future of Session Skate Sim, because we are steadily approaching the release of the new Skate. It's been announced that it's going to release into early access in 2025, and it's already November. It's already almost next year. Although I think there's definitely enough space for Session Skate Sim and the new Skate to coexist, because Session Skate Sim is a hardcore realistic skate sim. Skate is more of a casual, semi-realistic, semi-arcadey kind of skateboarding video game. I think we all know that it's pretty obvious that Session Skate Sim's player base is going to take a pretty big dip once the new Skate releases. I myself, I'm definitely going to be switching to doing a lot of Skate content, and I'm going to be playing that game a lot once it releases, and I think Session is probably going to take a little backseat for a while unless anything interesting actually happens with this game. And the only reason that I'm worried is because the future of Session is looking kind of bleak at the minute. We're going to run through everything that we know is coming to this game that has been confirmed by the devs. So first off, the one big major update that we know is coming to Session Skate Sim in the near future is the Goofy animations overhaul. Obviously, at the minute, there is no dedicated Goofy animations. It's just regular Switch. So they're actually going to be overhauling the Goofy animations to look like what you're seeing right now, just like normal animations like that we have it with regular skating. And this is, you know, obviously a really big deal because this has been a long time coming, and it's definitely coming a little bit late, but you know, this is still a pretty important update to people who actually do play this game in Goofy stance. But at the same time, for people who play regular like myself, and I know there's other people like me who skate Goofy in real life but play Session Skate Sim regular because there was no Goofy animations and regular skating just looks better. So I would say there's probably a lot more people playing this game in regular than there is Goofy, but there's obviously still a portion of the community who play this game in Goofy, and for them, this Goofy animation overhaul update is going to be a very important, very major update. The problem is, for people who play this game regular like me, obviously the Goofy overhaul update isn't actually really important to us. We're not really going to benefit from it in any way. And this is also something that really should have came so much earlier in this game's life cycle. But the Goofy animation update is basically the only major update that we actually have confirmed from the studio. This is the only one that they have said they are working on and that it is priority. There is no other major gameplay changes that we know of that is coming to this game in the future. But that is one update that we know is confirmed to be coming to the game eventually. We can also obviously expect more DLCs. These are obviously paid DLCs. They said a long time ago that they are no longer doing big city maps like this New York map. They are focusing on smaller scale DLCs kind of based around certain locations or certain spots. They have also said on their Discord that all future DLCs are pretty much just going to be, I think, roughly the same size as what we've been getting with, say, the Prague DLC and the Schoolyard DLC. So kind of like medium-sized maps that are just kind of based around this one location or this one kind of spot. Creature have done a pretty good job with their DLCs. Their maps are always really well made for the most part. You know, there's a few exceptions, like the Paris map. Definitely their worst DLC yet, but for the most part, all their other DLCs have been pretty good in terms of the map quality. So new official maps being added to the game is always a good thing. Obviously it depends whether or not you're willing to spend your money on them because they are paid DLCs. I say with those DLCs we can also probably expect more cosmetic stuff like new clothing and new gear like we got in the Prague DLC. Obviously this isn't ideal since these are new clothes that are stuck behind a paywall, and it would be really nice to see the base game updated with new clothing items for free, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I can expect we'll probably see more clothing items in future DLCs like the most recent Prague one. Another thing that has been confirmed by the studio is they are going to be doing more limited time free updates, similar to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle update that we got that was a limited time update. They have said that they do plan on doing more kind of brand deals and more limited time free updates. We'll probably see some more movie tie-ins and stuff, which is kind of cool. You know, I'm not exactly against that because it's free, so it's kind of like, you know, really there's nothing to lose. It's just some free updates. Some people might like that, some people might not actually be that bothered by it at all. Like, I didn't really care too much about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, apart from the sewer map, which, you know, I kind of like. But, you know, it's just a form of free content. It's whatever. It kind of sucks that it's probably, they're all going to be limited time, but I guess that's just licensing issues. That's just the way it is. But free content's free content, whatever. And of course, I'm sure we can expect some bug fixes and some minor gameplay updates here and there, alongside DLC releases, things like that. I think that's all stuff that we can pretty much just guarantee that they are going to be working on fixing some small stuff and improving some small stuff like they usually do. But that's pretty much everything that is confirmed to be, you know, coming to this game, and what we can expect going forward. Yeah, ultimately, there isn't too much on the cards that we know of. Now, they could be working on some other stuff, of course, that they haven't told us yet. Creature aren't exactly the best at communicating with the player base anymore. They used to be a lot better, but, you know, they've kind of taken a step back from that. There could definitely be some other stuff being worked on, but everything we know so far, one major update, just more DLCs, more minor updates, and that's pretty much it. Unless you're happy enough with where the game is at right now, you're happy playing this game as it is, you're satisfied, and all you care about is future DLC, so you get some new maps to play, some new cosmetic stuff, you know, that's fine. I'm sure there is a portion of the player base that are satisfied enough with that, and that is fine. But at the end of the day, it really seems like there's just not a whole lot to kind of look forward to with the future of this game. There's not a whole lot to really get excited for as a long-time player. If you've been playing this game for a long time, you know that a lot of the stuff that was supposed to come to this game ended up getting scrapped, ended up getting confirmed that it's not coming to the game. And there's definitely a lot more things that we're not getting than what we are getting. But basically, the one thing that got me wanting to talk about this is the Discord, the revamped Discord, whatever. It's just people asking questions and Donovan Strain replying every now and then. I went through this the other day, I was just curious to see what people were asking. And I'm just going to show you guys the amount of questions that are just answered with no, this is not happening, this isn't going to happen. It's kind of depressing to look at. Okay, so for a start, this one's kind of interesting. Manual pad spot Paris map. My manual spot does not look like this on consoles. So this was like the promotional video for the Paris DLC, which showed off that very famous spot I forget the name of, which I didn't even notice that this was different. Basically, Donovan Strain says, unfortunately, a last minute production change happened to the spot after the promotions were already finished and sent out. I think we were going to get a much more accurate version of this spot than what we actually got in the finished product. That's just something interesting that I didn't actually know happened. So of course, a lot of people are asking for a roadmap because we want to see what is actually coming in the future. This also has a lot of reactions. People really want this answered, but it actually says aired in reactions because Donovan just straight up zipped past this one. They're not doing a roadmap. I'm pretty sure at some point they said that they weren't going to do a roadmap. But here's the start of basically just getting a bunch of no's, like, no, this is not happening. First thing is a pretty major thing is, will we ever get the bending down ankle glitch fixed? When you use skater physical animation and your character's bending down, your character looks like they have like goat ankles basically. And this has been a thing for a while, but Donovan has straight up just said, no, this is not in the plan at this time. So they just have absolutely no intention of fixing this bug at all, which is kind of crazy. They aren't even saying that, you know, oh, they'll fix it eventually. It's just, no, it's not in the plan. So they don't actually plan on fixing that at all. And then just down from that, we have this one, a suggestion and a request. I know we're getting proper Goofy next time. We also get a fix to the arms clipping through the skater. This is another thing that's been happening for a while. And Donovan has just straight up again said, no, this is not something we plan to address, as it would affect fluidity and flow for minor improvements. You know, we're never going to get a fix to the arms clipping through the skater. That's just, we're just going to have to deal with that. We go down about clothing wear. There is wear and tear in the game. You can turn this on, your board gets worn down. Milkworm is asking if clothing wear is ever going to be finished. Donovan just said working on clothing wear is not in the plan at this time, so that's not happening. We're not getting any clothing wear and tear. The same also goes for truck wear. I think somebody also asked, here we go, Thrash trucks, if we're going to start seeing wear to the trucks. The board wears down. I think the wheels maybe get a bit dirty, but the trucks always remain pristine. They don't get touched no matter how much you've grinded them. Donovan has said there are no current plans for this, but I'll send a request to our producer for more truck customization. This guy's asking if they'll ever add a way to replay missions. Donovan says no. The only means to replay a mission is to restart the campaign with a new character, which is fine. It's whatever. But that seems like a pretty easy thing to add as well. Just an option to replay a completed mission, but that's not going to be added to the game. So this post is kind of about some updates and some quality of life improvements to historical challenges, of which Donovan said we've been considering this option, but it's not planned at this time. I think it's to do with being able to kind of like actually watch the clip of the historical challenge that you're trying to recreate. I think historical challenges are pretty much done. I don't think they're going to ever do anything with that again. Here we have PS5 Pro enhancements at any point. Donovan says we have no plans to optimize session for the upcoming PS5 Pro, so don't get excited about playing session on your PS5 Pro. Here's another thing about truck wear and tear. Donovan saying that they're not going to be adding this to the game. This would not contribute to the overall gameplay with this feature addition. Again, here somebody was asking about full cities, but we already know that's not happening. They say no, our DLC maps in the future are planned to stay roughly roughly around the size they have been released in currently. So again, all the future DLCs are just going to be kind of those medium-sized maps like Prague, like the Schoolyard, like I think the biggest one we got was the Water Park DLC, but I don't think the other maps are going to be that big. And here's one for all the Nintendo Switch players out there. I think it's already been confirmed, but he has also confirmed again that Nintendo Switch development is on an indefinite hold. It's due to a combination of hardware, software limitations, other technical stuff. If you bought Session on Nintendo Switch, the version you're playing now is probably going to be the version for the rest of the game's lifespan, I'd say. Here's one a lot of people have really wanted and asked for a long time: throwdown animations, because at the minute, obviously, when you press Y to get on your board, you just spawn on the board. When you press Y to get off, you just spawn off the board. And people want throwdown animations, so it looks a bit more realistic and also would look better in clips. Donovan has said throwdowns are not planned to be added at this time. It is a complicated feature with little pure skate return. I have no clue what this means, little pure skate return. I don't understand that sentence, but apparently it's a complicated feature, although I'm pretty sure that in the earlier days of Session, they were planning on adding a throwdown animation, and I don't really understand how it could be that hard. Someone asked about adding NPCs in the replay editor. That's not happening, unfortunately not. It's a technical restraint of our replay editor system. Now here's something, we do actually have our first yes here. Somebody asking about cosmetic updates. For those of us who can't afford to spend food money on game cosmetics, will there still be base game customization options added, or everything in the future going to be added in DLC? Donovan said yes, there is the possibility of free cosmetics in the future, but again, just saying there is the possibility of free cosmetics in the future. It's not exactly a confirmation, it's not a yes or no, it's just a possibility. Like, this one is interesting. This is something that I actually spoke about in my sewer map video. I questioned why Creature couldn't just take all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle branding out of the sewer map and just re-add the sewer map back in the game, and then avoid any licensing issues, and everybody can then have the map. This person's asking, will you debrand the sewer map so everyone can have it? Donovan said yes, this is something we have considered and may tackle in the future as a free release. Again, it's a may tackle in the future, it's not confirmed, but you know, it's still promising, it's still something. People who haven't got the sewer map might be able to get that map again, although I know if you're on PC, someone actually has added the sewer map back in, so you can actually get it if you're on PC. Somebody here asked, when is Session 2 being made, which is kind of funny. Donovan said there is no development plan for Session 2. We will continue to grow and build Session skates in. Other than that, you know, you can just go on here yourself. If you're part of the Discord, you can take a look at the rest of these things. It seems the majority of the stuff people want and people have been asking for, it's just straight up no, it's not happening, it's not coming to the game. And that's why I think the future for Session is not looking very good right now. If we actually head to the Creature Studios website, they have started promoting or teasing their upcoming game. This is a completely new IP from the studio and absolutely nothing to do with skateboarding. It's completely unrelated to skateboarding. It looks like some sort of, I don't know, fantasy game, something about a thrilling journey. And now Creature Studios is a very small studio. They really don't have that many people. So according to the website, there's 19 people currently working at Creature Studios. And so the fact that they're already starting to at least conceptualize and kind of work on the early parts of their new game, that's probably quite a lot of people that have now, their priority has now switched to this new game and they are no longer working on Session Skate Sim. And I'm not saying that Creature Studios shouldn't be working on a new IP. Obviously, they're, you know, a gaming studio. They have to work on new games. They can't just keep working on the same game. And I'm sure Nacon probably want them to start working on something else. But when you kind of look at the current state of Session and you realize that, like, this is supposed to be the full released, finished game, and there are so many missing features and are now just completely confirmed to not be coming to the game. And you know, some people are just happy with the way Session is now, and that is completely fine. If you just like the way it is now and you enjoy playing it, that's great. When you've been supporting this game for so long and you've been kind of following its development, I wasn't there back in the Kickstarter days, but I do remember watching videos on this game back in those early days and being pretty excited about it and seeing kind of the progression of it. And it has come a long way. There's still a lot of things that you think really should be in a 1.0 finished product that aren't here. You start to think, okay, well, maybe this is just it, you know, this is kind of it for Session. The gameplay that you're watching right now is probably going to be like the peak of Session, obviously minus all the modded clothing that I have on. All of this gear is modded. If you're a Goofy skater, then yeah, you do have those Goofy animation overhauls to look forward to. That's great. We do have some new DLC to look forward to, and as long as they kind of keep up that high quality level of detail and that high quality level of map design, then I think that we are going to get some pretty cool DLCs in the future still. You know, I'll still be getting every single DLC, doing videos on it, checking it out, playing it, streaming it, whatever. Nice. In terms of from a gameplay perspective, like, this is pretty much it. This is Session, you know? There's not going to be any throwdown animations added. There's not going to be any new tricks added. The arms are still going to clip. The ankles are still going to do weird things. The experimental settings are probably still going to remain experimental. Like, this is pretty much just it. This is Session now. This is the game. It's still a good game. I still enjoy playing it, but it's just... there's just not really anything to look forward to, you know? Like, come this time next year, I say October, November time, I say by then we're bound to have Skate Early Access released. It's going to be free to play, so everybody's going to get their hands on it. The new Skate is going to take over the skateboarding genre, and Session is going to take a massive hit unless it really does just pull out something big. And I, for one, I'm not going to completely abandon this game. Like, I'm still going to be playing it. Even when Skate's out, I'm still going to come back to it. I'm still going to check out any new updates. I'm going to check out any new DLC. And I know that there's still going to be a lot of real committed players playing this game, you know, for at least, I don't know, at least the next couple years. Because it is still probably the most kind of realistic, or at least the most hardcore skate sim we've ever got. And we might not get another game like Session Skate Sim for quite some time. But I still think that there's just not enough on the horizon for Session to keep people invested in this, especially after Skate releases. There's other games being worked on right now by members of the Fake Skate community. We have Skater XL modders and mappers working on Fake Skate the game, which is supposed to be basically like Skater XL 2, like a really improved community-made version of Skater XL. We have Zella Games, who is starting to work on the Untitled Skate game. Once again, that is back in development as far as I know, or it's going to be soon anyway. We have Brooksy99, who is a long-standing member of the Skater XL community, working on his own game. We have B-Row, who is a Skater XL mapper, working on his own game. I also think there's a new Tony Hawk game being worked on as far as I know. Whether that's a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater or it's something completely different, I don't know, but that is happening as well. So the skateboarding video game genre is about to get really crowded, and we're about to see a lot of different skateboarding games coming out in the next few years. And so I think Session's going to have a really rough time staying relevant and really keeping its head above the crowds of other skateboarding games coming out, unless it brings out a really major update. Damn, dude. I think that counts as a land. I stayed on that board for a while. But that's pretty much everything I have to say on the matter. I just wanted to talk about... the kind of concerns that I have for this game going forward in the next couple of years. And, you know, keep you guys updated as well on what's been said in the Discord. Because unless you remember that Discord, it's kind of hard to get any kind of confirmed news on what's happening with this game. The only time they ever post in their socials are around the time of a new DLC. As much as I don't want to say join the Session Discord because of what they did to it, I think, you know, that's kind of the main place where you can get updates on what's happening with the game. At least there we have Donovan Strain to confirm or deny things that are coming to the game, for the most part, except for all the posts that get ignored. But I'm sorry for this video being so overly negative, but I just needed to address everything, and hopefully Creature will surprise us and maybe come out with some gameplay overhaul that they've been working on that we don't know about. But right now, with all the information we have, it's not looking great for the future of Session. Let me know what you guys think about everything, and let me know if you are excited for the new Skate, if you're excited for some of the new skateboarding games coming out of the woodworks in the next few years. Are you still going to be playing Session when Skate releases, or are you just completely moving over to Skate? You know, everybody's going to be playing Skate, at least for a while anyway, and I know I am. But that's all for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.